wanted to talk to you guys about was something that I actually saw. You know, somebody posed the question, how much does it cost to actually build a Genesis Coupe? As far as if you're a regular person and you want to mod your car and things like that. How much do mods actually cost for this car? And just in general, you know, this is kind of should serve as a kind of guidelines when you're trying to build any car. Just know that it's going to cost money. So what I did while I was at work, you know, working, I created this list. And what this list is, it's the same list that you guys I did in this video right here, of parts that I bought for my car and that are currently on my car and that will be going on my car, as well as what I still need to buy. Now what this list is, what the final total on this list is, this doesn't include the things that I need to buy, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4 things that I still need to get, and that total is actually $2,200 for what I still need to get, and that is a tune, a Haltech ECU, some injectors, and a blow-off valve, a Synapsis blow-off valve for a particular reason. But what this list is everything that I have or is currently on the car and the price that each thing costs. And at the end of the video, I'll reveal to you the total amount of money I spent in parts. Now also remember too, this does not include any labor, and because I'm doing all the work, the labor's free. But if you need the labor done, this price is going to go up. And when you hear the price, you're probably going to be like, holy crap. All right, guys. So before I head into my list, let me just point out that the price of aftermarket parts for a car, it really depends on how many companies are out there actually selling aftermarket parts for a car, and just the amount of the popularity of the car. So you take a car like a Honda Civic or an Integra or even a 240 or something like that, more than likely the prices for aftermarket parts aren't going to be that high, or as high as they would be, say, for something like, I don't know, a Genesis Coupe. The amount of companies out there selling these parts. So again, same cars, there are a ton of companies that are selling parts and competing with each other, so obviously prices are going to be lower. So, you know, just remember that as I'm going through this list. The list of parts that I'm about to go through in no particular order, I do have my list right here. These parts, the majority, I would say 98% of them, are all name brand parts, and these are the prices that I paid for them. And also remember, I do what most people do, which is look for the best deal, which that's going to be my word of advice. Always look for the best deal, because, you know, paying a ton of money for a part on one website and it's the same part, paying more money for that same part is just ridiculous. So let's get this list started. Okay, sorry. First off, the ACT Flywheel. Now that cost about $650. I put things a little bit on the high side, just because. So what I paid was about $650. Now multiply that by 2, because I bought 2 of them. And that, okay, hold on, because Lisa wants to talk to me now. All right, guys, when Lisa calls, I have to pick up the phone. Wait, let me make sure this is okay. Good. The phone's off, just because. Yeah, if she knew the amount of money I spent, woo! Just stick around. When you hear the amount, you guys are gonna be like, wow. Okay. So anyway, I had to buy 2 flywheels. One I had already bought, but then I needed to get the crank and flywheel and all that stuff balanced, so I bought another flywheel because I didn't want to take it out of the car. Ooh. Okay, so anyway, together, that's $1,300. Next up, an ACT clutch, a heavy duty clutch. That cost me $575. Okay, so obviously flywheel clutch, you know, I needed to do that. Next up, and this was obviously my choice, the BTR tuned ECU. That came to $800. So I don't know if you guys are adding this up as you go along, but yeah, that's over $2,000 already. And that's only, yeah, 4 things we'll call it. Next up, the engine block. The engine block cost me $450. And obviously that's a deal. And then I didn't include the shipping in this price at all. I didn't include the shipping in any of this. So obviously the total amount would be higher at the end if I included any shipping prices. Next up, ACL rod bearing. Whoa, traction control's off, forgot about that. ACL rod bearings. The rod bearings came to $100, okay? And again, remember guys, I bargain shop the hell out of this stuff because I'm trying not to spend a whole lot of money. So that was $100. Next up, the ACL Main Bearings. That was $160. Obviously, pull the motor apart. The motor had a couple spun bearings, so I needed bearings anyway. And the rod bearings are actually spun, but since I had to open up the bottom end, I'm not going to put the used main bearings back in. So those were $160. Next up, the ISR differential mounts. Those came to about $175, and I still haven't even put them on the car yet. So those will go on the car at some point soon, actually. Next up, Mishimoto Intercooler. That came to $500. That's the intercooler and the piping. With the BTR tune, it required a new intercooler, a bigger, larger intercooler. So got the Mishimoto. Next up, this is actually the second thing I bought for this car, the K&N intakes, the intake system. That was $275. Obviously, I'm trying to build this car to my personal high standard, and so that way you guys can see what it takes to build this car as far as pricing and things like that. And you know what, and I'm trying to do it for you guys as well as myself, but you guys mostly, and myself. Yeah. Next up, a CNT Exhaust Catback. That was $500. And I actually found that on eBay. And actually, to be quite honest with you, I probably could have gone any other place else and it was still $500. Not an expensive catback exhaust system. Then once the muffler got damaged, instead of going right out to get it fixed, I bought a Tsudo catback exhaust, which was another $500. So that's $1,000 between exhausts, and I know there are exhaust systems that cost more than $1,000 by themselves. So yes, that's $1,000 for 2 exhaust systems. Currently, right now, I am running the CNT exhaust because I got it fixed, and that part is on this list too. So next up is the ISR Testpipe, which was $150. And that was actually a birthday present, so I technically didn't pay for that one. Next up, the ISR 3-inch DownPipe. That was also a birthday present, and that was $250. Next up, that OBX 3-inch O2 housing. That came to $100 off of eBay, and that was actually the first item that I bought for this car, but I didn't put it on until I had a whole exhaust system anyway. Sorry if I keep looking down. Again, the list is right here. Next up, lowering springs. Again, I bought those off of eBay. I don't even remember what the brand was. They've held up very well, and I paid 120 bucks. Okay, not everything on eBay is bad. I wouldn't buy everything off of eBay, but these I was confident in, so bought them. Haven't had any issues with them. So 120 bucks for those. What else? Okay, a forged blow-off valve. That was a birthday present as well, and that blow-off valve came to $175. And it sounds so good. Next up, the ISR Evo 8, Evo 9 turbo conversion kit. That came to $750. And obviously that's gonna go on at some point once I'm done building the motor and breaking it in and things like that. Next up, an Evo 9 turbo kit, excuse me, from the GSR, so the more expensive turbo. I got that off of eBay used, and that came to 350 bucks. And I also rebuilt it, which the rebuild kit was like another 35 bucks or something like that. I didn't even include it in this list. And also the Mamba compressor wheel, which was, I think that was like another 100 bucks, which I didn't even include on this list as well because I forgot about it. So the Evo 9 Turbo, which again came to $350. Go ahead if you want. Go ahead, add it up. I'll wait. Go ahead if you want, if you're keeping track at home. Next up, we've got the K1 forged connecting rods. Those came to $400. Then we have the Wiseco pistons forged. Those came to $475. Obviously, like I said, building the motor, the BK1 didn't come with forged internals at all. And because of the Evo 9 turbo and the more boost and things like that, and the type of power I'm looking for, needed forged internals. Next up, we've got ARP head studs, which came to, there's something like $150. If I can recall, I'll go home and double check, but I could have sworn they were about $150 or so. Obviously needed head studs. And I'm always gonna go with ARP. I've used them in my Integra, I've used them in my SRT4, so, and they're great. So again, use those. And then ARP main studs, which those were another 150 bucks. Same thing. Same reason as the head studs. Okay. Next up, which these weren't, well, I won't say they weren't necessary, but I have to make the car look good. Subtle stuff. So they were the Vordovan Form 9 wheels. Those came to $800. $800 brand new off of eBay. So, and again, I didn't include tires on this list. So those came to $800. Let's see what's up next. I did put the machine work for the block, and that machine work came to about $275. Now, you may not need to do machine work if you're not going into the block or anything like that, but if you're gonna get the block honed and things like that, machine work is necessary. The hone work was, I think it was like 20 bucks per cylinder, but then there's something else on this list that had to get needed machine work as well, so we'll get to that in a few. Next up, the Y-pipe mod for my car. Now, I know you guys are probably like, there is no Y-pipe mod for Genesis Coupe. Well, the reason why I had to get the Tsudo exhaust was because when I was at emissions, when they were pulling the car out, they ripped back the muffler because it hung low on the CNT exhaust. So I ended up being impatient and buying the Tsudo exhaust. And if you want, you can, it's in one of my videos, it's in my exhaust video. I'll put the link to the description down below, in the description down below for that video. So I ended up buying a new exhaust, but then what happened was I didn't like the way the exhaust sounded, so I took the muffler to MPH Performance and had them, and they did me a favor and they made it a true Y-pipe, which is the reason why my car sounds 10 times better than what it did just with the CNT, and the CNT sounded good. So that is the Y-pipe mod that I have for my car. Next up, oh, and that Y-pipe mod, I'm sorry, came to $275. Next up, I had to order a crank, a brand new crank, because the crank could not be machined because they didn't make a bearing size for the type of machining that it needed. So that new crank came to $475. And then the rest of that machine work, the crank needed to be balanced and things like that. So that was the additional cost to the machine work, for the machine work. That's why the machine work came to $275. And again, they actually balanced the second flywheel that I bought. So there you go, $475 for a new crank. Whew, are you guys getting tired yet? Okay guys, last on the list, last but not least, a head gasket, a chromatic head gasket. That came to $100 bucks. Obviously needed to, I need a new head gasket if I had to take the motor apart. I'm not gonna put the old one on. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I also had the head planed. But that's in that $275. So there you go. Guys, so now we've come to the part where we add all this up. And because I'm so good at math, I already, you know, I can figure it out in my head. No. And this is the other reason why, the total is the other reason why I didn't want to put this on while Lisa was on the phone or anything like that, because she would kill me. The total of the parts over, I want to say about a 3.5 year period is, drum roll, $10,329. Yeah, let that marinate a little bit. That's all just parts, okay? And a little bit of labor with the machine work. I basically, if I had saved that money until now, I could have probably bought another Genesis Coupe. Do I regret it? No, because I'm building the car. Will I ever get that money back if I ever sold this car? No. But this is my passion and this is the car I want to build. So that I'm willing to spend that money. And remember, I could probably say maybe $2,000 of that were gifts, basically. So I mean, it still doesn't really take a whole lot off the price. And again, I still have to spend another $2,200 between parts and tuning. Will I sell some of the parts that I don't, that I'm not going to keep? yeah, probably like the additional flywheel and the BTR tune at some point. But you know, it is what it is. So just remember this: if it's your passion and you're willing to spend the money and not cheap out, you're gonna be happy with the result, A, and B, you're gonna realize how much money you spent. But is it worth it to you? I know this is worth it to me, so you probably agree with me as far as your own builds and things like that. And just also remember too that this was over about a 3.5 year period. So I don't have this money just sitting around, you know, like there are some people that do, and that's great, and you know what, good for them, but I don't. So just remember, sometimes it takes patience as far as saving money or buying things piece by piece. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section about this video. Let me know what you guys have spent on cars and things like that, or parts. All right, guys. The other thing you got to remember too is that with Hyundais and the Genesis Coupe in general, there are not a whole lot of aftermarket companies that do stuff for these cars. And you know, I can name a few off the top of my head. Gen Racer, I use them obviously. In Juku, BTR, SFR, you know, again, not a whole lot of companies. I'm sure there's some smaller ones too, but even with some of the smaller ones, you don't get a whole lot of, there's not a whole lot in the aftermarket as far as people selling parts for these cars. So hence the reason why building a Genesis Coupe is so damn expensive. But what are you gonna do? You like the car, and you want to mod the car, then you got to be willing to pay the price. Just obviously try to find good prices. Let me know what your current builds are and how much they're costing you. So until next time, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear from you guys. Again, the channel's growing slowly but surely, and I really appreciate that. You know, you guys, I just think you guys are awesome, to be quite honest with you. Just to come back and watch my videos and things like that. So stay tuned. We're almost close to 100 subscribers. I know for some people that's probably not a big deal, but it is to me. So, and even 1 subscriber is a big deal to me. So until next time, like I said, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make no limitation your only limitation. Peace.